We have Glenn calling from Kentucky. Welcome aboard, Glenn. How can I help?
Yes, my name's Glenn, and my wife she's got Pernicious Anemia.
Yeah, Pernicious Anemia, yeah.
Yes, and they're thinking it's going to go into leukemia, and she takes B12 shots every 2 weeks, and she's a diabetic, and she's depressed. She's into depression. She's got on Xanax.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. So anything else?
Well, she's getting ready. They want her to go in for iron shots because her iron is really low and she's weak. So next week she's got to take 2 weeks of iron shots and on an IV.
Okay, so here's what I want to tell you about all of this. This is medical madness. This is a perfect example of the short-sightedness of the MD community. MDs are like colorblind art critics. There's only so much they can see about that picture hanging on the wall, and there is a ton of information that they are missing because they're colorblind, but they don't know they're colorblind. So there is a ton of information that they're missing about anemia and depression and type 2 diabetes. They're just completely clueless about. And because they're completely clueless about it, they're going to throw drugs and surgery at this. It's going to kill her. So let me tell you my perspective on this because there's hope. The good news here, Glenn, is that there is hope, okay? Now, people don't become anemic because they have, a simple iron deficiency or a simple vitamin B12 deficiency. Although from an MD's reductionistic point of view, that's how it seems. From a holistic point of view, I've had people who are anemic taking B12 shots for 20 years. I've had people that are anemic taking iron for 30 years and they're still anemic. They're just managing the symptoms, right?
10 years. Yeah, 10 years she's been taking.
All right. Well, there you go. Okay. So, the truth will out here. But the anemia and depression and type 2 diabetes are holistic phenomenon. It's not just a question of not enough iron. It's not just a question of not enough B12. It's not just a question of not enough calcium or vitamin C, right? It's a question of 90 essential nutrients. If her body has all 90 essential nutrients that it needs, including B12, iron, selenium and zinc, and vanadium and chromium for the blood sugar, then the blood sugar is going to normalize, the anemia is going to disappear, and the depression will lift. Because depression, most of the time, is a function of funky blood sugar. And I know she's got funky blood sugar because she's type 2 diabetic, right? Yeah. So there was a famous book written years ago by a black comedian. I'm blanking on his name right now. It was called The Sugar Blues. It outlined very closely the relationship between sugar levels in the blood and how you feel. If the sugar's too high in the blood, you feel funky, you feel depressed. In type 2 diabetics, that's the problem. The sugar in their blood is too high most of the time, but the MD is just going to throw drug after drug at this, and it's a fool's errand. So here's what I'm going to recommend that your wife do to support and promote the health of her body and to give her a fighting chance to bounce back from all of the stuff that she's dealing with, okay? In addition to that, 10 foods that I don't want anybody to look at, let alone eat. So download that list and please withdraw those 10 foods from your diet and from her diet immediately. In addition to those 10 foods, until her blood sugars stabilize, also eliminate anything that's sweet. No fruit juice, no fruit leather, no dried fruit, no sugar, no honey, no agave, no molasses, no maple syrup, no nothing that's sweet. The only exception to that rule is non-glycemic sweeteners, things like stevia and xylitol and sucralose. She can use those things to sweeten her coffee or sweeten her tea or sweeten her whatever she wants to, but no real sugars, okay, until the blood sugar issue has resolved. Now, if you follow the diet and give her these supplements, she's not going to need the iron shots. She's not going to need the B12 shots because within, it's hard to say, within 4 to 8 weeks, there's going to be a noticeable, measurable improvement in her mood, in her energy, and then in her blood work's going to clear up. And that's what I'd like you to do for 3 months, because, you know, the MDs don't have anything here for you. And it's, if you continue to do what they tell you to do, it's going to go from bad to worse. You're going to go to hell in a handbasket. You're already halfway there, right? I mean, I can tell it by the tone of your voice that you're really concerned for your wife. So take my advice. Go ahead.
They claim that that she rejects nutrients, or her body does.
Well, that's insane. I mean, whoever said that should have their license revoked. I mean, that's like saying your body rejects air or water. It doesn't. That's impossible. They're knuckleheads. There is one thing that will interfere with the absorption of nutrients into the body, and that's eating the 10 bad foods. If you consistently eat those 10 bad foods that are on my good food, bad food list, everybody, I don't care who you are, is going to have trouble absorbing anything. You're going to have trouble absorbing nutrients. You're going to have trouble absorbing drugs. You're going to have trouble absorbing water. You're going to have trouble absorbing anything, because those 10 foods destroy the tissue in the gut that absorb nutrients. So, you know, when she cleans up her diet and takes these high-quality, really easily absorbable nutritional supplements, it's a game changer, man. It's a game changer. So give it a try, and thanks for calling. Are we good?
Should she be on a probiotic?
No, she doesn't need to be on a probiotic. She could be if she wants to. I've got no problem with a probiotic, but that's the last thing I'm going to think about in this case. She needs all the other stuff that I mentioned. That's the stuff that's going to support and promote healthy blood sugar, support and promote healthy, you know, blood count, support and promote healthy hormones in her body, and she's going to love the way that she feels. What I'd like to see her be eating every day is eggs. Eggs, soft boiled, poached, or soft scrambled in butter. And if she soft boils them or poaches them, I want her to add butter and salt to them. All right? You'll be able to read all that on the Good Food, Bad Food list.